Okay guys, so after the newest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we obviously know Ghost Rider's origin, but I want to talk a little bit more about the aspects that they don't actually go into, which is how exactly and why did he get his powers the way he did. Specifically, that's the part I want to talk about. So we actually learned that Eli, who is the uncle of Robbie Reyes, was actually part of this scientific team who were trying to come up with some brand new technology. Now, Joe, who was his partner and one of his co-workers, ended up using the Darkhold to kind of speed up the process of what they were trying to do. And Eli actually got very jealous of this because he wanted the power of the gods himself. So he betrayed all of them, causing this giant explosion to happen, this giant accident and everything like that. So yes, he was responsible for their murder and turning them into ghosts. Now, the other thing that's kind of important here is the fact that Joe, before any of this happened, suspected Eli of doing something. So he ordered the gang members to actually go after, Eli while he was in his car. What they didn't know was, of course, that the car was being quote-unquote borrowed, aka stolen, by Robbie to do some drag racing. And essentially, they get caught in the middle of this crossfire. They get shot to death. We see that, he's pretty much left for dead. The car flips, and Robbie is actually fully thrown out of the car. And as he's flying through the air, he realizes that his little brother was shot. He was almost shot to death. And while he's flying through the air, he begs the universe, begs anybody, saying he will do anything right now to save his life. And he says when he hits the ground, it was all blackness. There was nothing. There was just nothing. Until a voice reaches out to him and says, will he do this to save their lives? He agrees upon it, and then a familiar figure on a bike rolls up and comes up to him and touches him and gives him the powers of the Ghost Rider. This just so happens to be Johnny Blaze, the other Ghost Rider, the second Ghost Rider, not the original, but this is the second one. So he transfers his powers. Now, we don't get any confirmation on if this is the devil that gives him the powers, because they're keeping it very hidden. They don't mention if it's Mephisto or someone like that. So I think they still want to roll with one devil, which I'll talk about in another video. But it seems like that when Johnny touches him and gives him that, I'm willing to bet that the devil grants the powers of the Ghost Rider to only one at a time. And he found someone that was desperate enough, so he relieves Johnny of his curse, of his binding contract, and he officially passes it to Robbie Reyes, which would honestly make a lot of sense. One Ghost Rider at a time, so you can't have 100 of them running around. The devil can't just grant Ghost Rider powers to anybody. He needs someone that's desperate enough. So, that's pretty honestly awesome, and I think that's great, and I cannot wait to see where else they go on with this. So you guys let me know what you thought of the episode. What did you think of the way he gets his powers? Do you think I'm right that there can only be one rider at a time?